Here's a question that I saw, did not realize until it hit the news a lot, was that it was very white. What do you make of that? That the guy in Baltimore, the paper there said, we struggled to, our photographer, to find a picture of black people in this march. I'm okay with that. I didn't go, and I feel like, well, you talk.
Now, I have worked my whole life trying to get the majority culture to appreciate diversity, to notice how there's a lack of black people in boardrooms, how of all the Fortune 500 CEOs, only 1.6% are black, to notice how certain clubs are absent of black people, to notice how certain neighborhoods and schools don't provide us with access. But the one time white folks want to start talking about where are the black folks and noticing our absence is when it comes to us putting our lives on the line.
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. So Bill Maher wants to know why the protest was so white. Like, that's his big question out of everything going on. And then a newspaper said their photographer was struggling to even find a black person to take a picture of. Oh, now y'all care when black folks are missing. You don't notice the lack of diversity in boardrooms, schools, or jobs, but suddenly it's a story because black people didn't show up to risk their lives again. That says a lot. Anyway, let's get into it. Drop your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out.
That is basically a valid point to make about the whole King thing. Here's a question that I saw, did not realize until it hit the news a lot, was that it was very white. What do you make of that? The guy in Baltimore, the paper there said, we struggled to, our photographer, to find a picture of black people in this march. I'm okay with that. I didn't go, and I feel like, well, you talk.
Well, we had a meeting.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
And let's just say it didn't go too well for white folks, that's all.
Bill Maher made a point to say that he spoke to photographers that attended the No King's Day protests. And these photographers said to him that they really struggled to find pictures of black people in attendance. Why is that? Why are photographers looking for black people to be in attendance at the No King's Day protests? Folks, we've known what this has been about. We've known what all of this has been about since Election Day. We all knew what time it was. And we knew that stepping back and allowing the rest of the country to fight this battle was the right decision. Because if you read Project 2025, if you read any piece of Project 2025, you knew they were looking to come after our community. And while so many other communities are proving to be collateral damage right now, they are also suffering at the hands of these people right now. Their goal, their end game, the last infinity stone to what they need to accomplish relies on the presence of black people. It hasn't even been a year since that election took place. And now you literally have someone like Bill Maher on his show speaking to someone like Michael Steele on HBO about the fact that can't nobody find us. Folks, if you have any knowledge of media, especially in America, especially at the highest levels of media, that means this conversation is happening in the boardrooms of some of the most powerful people on the planet. A lot of the people that probably have their hands in what's going on with this government are clearly looking for any way to get black people involved. But we haven't, and it actually confuses them. They're holding case studies on live television, trying to figure out what it's going to take to get us into this fight. Anyone who doubted that we made the right decision should be paying attention to that conversation, because I believe it highlights that we are connected to something very spiritual that they want access to. They've wanted access to it for a long time. They need it right now, and they cannot get it.
So why is Bill Maher asking where's the black people at? Help me understand. And he's asking Michael Steele, who I don't follow him closely, but my understanding is he was the chairman of the RNC, and he's been a little tokeny in the last few years. But he ate with his response. The first thing he said was, we all had a meeting. And I love it because that was the definition of tongue-in-cheek and double meaning. Because of course, any person who's a part of a minority group knows the experience of being asked to speak for the entire group, right? And so it's a very sarcastic thing to say, well, we all had a meeting, right? Because why are you asking me to speak for my entire demographic? At the same time, this was also somewhat literal because there is a collective agreement and understanding that we are not moving the same way that we normally move. So he said we had a meeting and it did not go well for white people. And then he said, but that really shouldn't even be the focus. We need to focus on the purpose of the protest, which is basically to say no to a dictator, to a wannabe. He also ate with that because not only did he acknowledged that black people are moving differently, he did it in a way that did not invite Bill Maher or any of his audience into that conversation with us. And I would dare say that that is a masterclass or a case study in keeping people out of black business or protecting black business, because he gave him Michael Steele gave Bill Maher no opening to offer an opinion, to offer an insight. He didn't even offer our opinions or our insight for Bill Maher or his audience to judge, because it's not your business. And it was the gentlest way possible for him to basically say, mind y'all's business. I mean, it begs the question, why are y'all looking for us like that? What's the reasoning to be so dedicated? He said the photographer was looking for black people. Why were you looking to photograph black people specifically at a protest? For what reason? What were those photos going to be used for? Who were they going to be distributed to? In what context were those photos going to be sent and distributed? And it was also interesting because it made me think about history, because y'all know I always go. So for those who watch my videos, you know I've been reading this book very, very, very slowly because it is so emotionally overwhelming for me. The book At the Hands of Persons Unknown, and it talks about the history of lynching in America. And so there was one example that the author was writing about in Tennessee, where there were two grocery store owners. There were two men and they were in partnership to own a grocery store together, and they hired a worker at the store. And somehow these men were acquainted with Ida B. Wells, who also lived and worked out of Memphis, Tennessee. Anyway, we know there's a long history of black people thriving on their own and other groups deciding that they don't deserve to thrive on their own. And so there was a group of who decided that, you know, these black men should not own this grocery store, or this grocery store shouldn't be so successful. And so they went and they attacked it. So the worker of the store fought back, right? Defended himself, stood his ground. And apparently there was a shootout, and at least one of the white people who attacked the store died. The worker somehow got away and was in hiding. Eventually they found him, and they lynched him and the two store owners who were, you know, upheld members of society, upstanding members of the society. They were loved by everyone in the community. And essentially what this did was spark a mass exodus from the people living in that area of the South to the West, to you know, California and those parts. And so that was a wave of the Exoduster movement, which happened before the Great Migration. So the Exoduster movement happened kind of like right after emancipation, so like the 1870s and 80s. So this happened in 1882, I want to say. So a bunch of black folks left the area and moved west, and then those who stayed decided to boycott white businesses, including the streetcar, which apparently had just become electric, which started to run on electricity. Now, as violent and scary and superstitious as the racist Southern white folks were of the day, of course, Black people had the reputation of being superstitious and scary and easily scared. So they get it in their heads that Black people were not patronizing the streetcars because it was electric, and they were somehow afraid of that it would be dangerous. So these people go to Ida B. Wells and they're like, can you let your people know that they can ride the streetcar because it's not going to be dangerous for them? And she promptly let them know the reason they're not riding the streetcars is because y'all are a bunch of murderous, crazy folk, and don't nobody want to spend their money with y'all. Surprisingly, they were not happy to hear this. But, the damage was done, and it did lead to a little bit of change in that area, which of course we know you always take, one step forward, 2 steps back or whatever. So that was a 1 step forward but it just shows what happens when Black folks disappear. If all you can do is enact violence against us, all you can do is talk nasty about us, all you can do is disrespect us and try to erase us, then don't come looking for us when we disappear. Stay there.
What's up, family? Last week, the No Kings protest against Donald Trump, your president, went down last week. And Bill Maher made an interesting note. He said it was very white. And he asked his guest, Michael Steele, why so? Why is it? What was the Black folks? And Michael Steele said, well, we had a meeting. I ain't got no problem with that. Yeah, man, y'all broke it, y'all fix it. As if y'all didn't know it was gonna go down like that. Why is it that every time there's a problem in America, even if Black folks ain't got nothing to do with it, they wanna put it on Black folks. They don't care nothing about us until there's a problem, right? They don't care. I mean, you can even look at times of crisis, right? When there's a time of crisis, all of a sudden, we're all on the same team. When 9/11 happened, when they hit the Twin Towers, when the mother people hit the Twin Towers, we're all on the same team now. There's a hurricane, a flood. Oh, now we're all on the same team. But after everybody get back comfortable, get on with it, back to a sense of normalcy, now it's, hey, I'm bored. Let me pick on the Black folks. Yeah. So they want Black folks to fix everything every time. Look, remember what happened when George Bush messed everything up? The youngster messed everything up. They called on the brother to come in and shake things up a little. Now, I'm not saying he did a great job, but he definitely did a better job than George Bush did. And he definitely did a better job than Trump did in his first term and his second term. In any event, y'all broke it. Y'all fix it. Yeah, what you looking for us for? Every time somebody have a big issue, when they want to march, when somebody's being done wrong, they looking around for the Black folks. Well, y'all better help us, trying to shame Black folks. But when it's on us, when we're going through it.
Initially, I wasn't going to say shit about this. I wasn't going to say anything about the lack of melanin at these protests, specifically talking about the No Kings protest. But fuck it, here's my take. In the event that you have no idea what I'm talking about, a clip from Bill Maher's talk show actually resurfaced, showing the talk show host expressing his concerns over the lack of melanated bodies at these protests. In the clip, Bill Maher actually states that he noticed a strange presence, that it was strange, the absence of Black people at the No Kings protest. And then he even spoke about how photographers were literally stating how they were struggling to find Black people, that they could not spot Black people within the crowd. Why are you looking for Black people? Why are you looking for us? Especially considering we have not been outside since the ending of November 2024. Or have you not been paying attention? We said we wasn't going outside. We said we weren't fighting. So why are you looking for us? That right there is the reason why I'm so happy that Black people collectively have come to the conclusion, we're going to sit this one out. This is not our fight. Because we knew that you were looking for us. We knew that you were plotting. You were plotting on us. Photographers for media source outlets literally stating, they're expressing how they found it challenging to be able to capture a Black person on film at these protests. It makes me feel like there's some type of quota that they have to meet. Some type of quota of how many Black faces they're able to capture so that they're able to use it for their narrative. Now all I really want to know is who's finna be the new scapegoat? Because you can't use my face anymore. You can't use my face. So who's the new problematic group in America? Who's the new violent group in America? Who's the new group that's always causing civil unrest in America? Who? Whose face are y'all going to use to try to make it seem like these protests for civil rights are violent? Who are you going to use to be able to spin that narrative? Whose blood will you shed? Whose life will you claim and be able to get away with it? Who? Because right now, y'all got a whole lot to fight for. Y'all got a whole lot to protest, to scream, to burn shit down for. But you don't want to fight the government. Y'all don't want to fight the government. You want to fight Black people. You don't want to fight the Republicans or the Democrats. You want to fight Black people. You don't want to fight for your rights. You don't want to fight for your lives. You want to fight Black people. Get somebody else to do it.
Y'all saw they was looking for us out at the No Kings March and they couldn't find us. Bill Maher talking about, oh yeah, the Baltimore newspaper said that they photographers was searching for Black people in the crowd and they couldn't find them. They was looking for us, child. And the reason why they was looking for us is because they want us to be the face. They wanted to take a picture of us to put on the front page of the newspaper when they wrote that story. They want us to be the face of everything that's wrong with this country. And that's the reason why I need y'all, November 1st, if they cut SNAP like they say they're going to, I need y'all to not come on here and talk about how not having SNAP benefits is affecting you. I need you to not give no interviews to no newspapers. Do not be the face of the SNAP benefits. Do not let them use us, Black women especially, as the poster child for SNAP benefits. Don't come on here talking about how you hungry, how your kids is hungry. No. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, DM me if you must. If you get the urge to come on here and talk about how hungry you are, DM me and we'll figure something out. Because no, I just like we not the face of they little marches and all that type of stuff. I don't need us to be the face of this. We need to change the narrative. And the only way for us to do that is to keep our mouth shut.
You know, Bill Maher got on Beyonce's internet and said, where were the Black people at the No Kings protests? Okay, and my response to that was, how you ain't get the memo? Okay, Black people haven't been keeping it a secret that not only were we disappointed, but we have decided that we are no longer putting our bodies on the line to be sacrificed to move this country forward. Somebody else got to do it. Okay? And some people, some demographics may not feel as though that's right. Okay, but we did the work before the election and after the election. Okay, and to be honest with you, if there is a block of people, if there's a community in this country known for pushing the needle forward, dragging the needle forward, sacrificing our children, our bodies, our jobs, okay, our health and safety, it has always been my community. Okay, so where were we? We were in the arms of safety, baby. Well, we gonna stay, because Black people told you what was coming. Okay, because we've seen this shuck and jive before. We told you what was coming. Okay, if you want to know where we are and where we are now, we at home preparing for what's about to hit this whole country. Okay, because we told you and you didn't listen. Okay. Thoughts and prayers.
Now see, this is what gets me. They said photographers were literally assigned to look for black people at that protest, like it's some scavenger hunt. For what though? Why are you so pressed to catch us on camera when we weren't even the focus? Let's be honest, black people have been out here marching for everybody. We've shown up, we've shouted, we've fought, we've cried, and half the time, when it's our turn, those same people disappear. So maybe this time, folks just stayed home, and I don't blame them, because we're tired of being the face of every protest, the main ones risking everything, while the system still acts like we're invisible when it's time to give real change. It's funny, right? The same people who never see us in power positions, now they suddenly realize we weren't at the protest. Maybe the message is simple. We've done our part. Y'all handle yours. So, if you gotta go looking for black people, that means we chose not to be there. And that says a lot. Don't call for us only when you need us for optics, because when it's time to protect or stand with us, most of y'all vanish. Anyway, what y'all think? Was that question innocent or just another way to point fingers? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think.